the importance of a VIN number to a vehicle. Here's another, what they call a Chevy Trax. People might think they're buying an American Chevrolet vehicle. In reality, if you look here at the VIN number, the very first digit of the VIN is K, which means it's built in Korea. Just another scam by GM. The vehicle is actually considered a Deawoo, and I believe Deawoo sold vehicles here in the United States from maybe 99 to 2004, before everybody realized they were just huge pieces of junk. GM buys a bunch of Deawoo vehicles and rebadges them. This is called the Chevy Trax. There's the Buick Encore. There was the Chevy Aveo, the Chevy Spark, the Chevy Sonic, and there's many more. I'll link some of the names here below. But Deawoo was a huge failure back in the early 2000s. So GM looked at it as an opportunity. Hey, we can buy part of this company, and we'll just call it GM of Korea. They're exactly the same thing as a Deawoo. I'll even put the names of all the Deawoo vehicles that cross-reference exactly over to these vehicles, other than these have Chevy emblems on them. But do yourself a favor. These vehicles were made to be throwaway vehicles. You drive them for 20, 30,000 miles and people just threw them away. I don't understand how Chevrolet can try to charge crazy money for these vehicles in the United States. Over in Korea, these cars sell new for like $4,500 to like $7,000, and GM marks them up to like 20 grand over here. People, just do your research. Don't buy this junk. GM tried to pull this stuff. I mean, it shows my age, but GM back in the day had Geo, and those were all just rebadged Isuzus, and those were actually halfway decent little cars, but don't buy a Deawoo. I mean, people just regret these cars left and right. For an example, I had a good buddy of mine. His roommate had a Chevy Aveo. I mean, this was 10 years ago. And it only had like 60,000 miles on it. And he had done his research and found out that all the Chevy Aveo timing belts, instead of lasting 100,000 miles, like most other vehicles, like Hondas, Toyotas, whatever, the Chevy Aveos, they were braking at 60,000 miles. And when your timing belt breaks, it does catastrophic damage to the motor, and you can't repair the motor. I mean, you got to rebuild the valves. It's just an absolute mess. So you might as well just put a new motor in the car. Anyway, so this guy takes his car down to the Chevy dealer and says, I want my time belt replaced. Chevrolet calls him a day later and says they don't have the tools to replace his timing belt. So he had no option other than continue to drive the car. He got like another 20,000 miles out of it, and the motor blew up. So just don't buy these cars in the first place, people. Do your research. And the importance of the VIN number. The first digit of the VIN tells you where the car is built in. What did I have the other day? I had a Buick Cascada, whatever it's pronounced. It's W. What's built in West Germany? It's just like a BMW or an Audi. I mean, even Buick tries to rebadge some of these cars. Some cars are built in Australia. I mean, they're all over the place. Just before you buy the car, look at the first digit of the VIN. Google what it comes back as. And you'll just be amazed that, hey, I'm really not buying an American car. Hey, I'm not buying a Japanese car. I'm not buying this, an Italian car. It's just a joke. Hopefully some of this information helps you out. If you have any car questions, just leave a comment below. I'll help you out. I'll answer your questions. If you want advice on what kind of car to buy next, I'll help you with that as well. List a few vehicles and say, hey, I'm interested in this, I'm interested in that, and I'll give you the breakdown of if it's a decent car or not. But people, just do your homework before you buy a vehicle. Don't go to the lot and say, hey, this car looks nice, it looks clean, I'm going to buy it. All right, thank you.